All right, good evening, everyone. It's Monday, April 27, 2026, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Champaign, Illinois. You're watching Call for Two. You're joining me, the four of you, according to YouTube, for another playthrough of Etherfields. This is session 14. How far along are we in Etherfields? Maybe a third of the way, perhaps. Let's check in with the chat, see how everyone is doing. We've got Jonathan Warner, who's been joining me for all of these sessions so far. Daniel Taylor has dropped in from Australia. Let me try to think if there's any bookkeeping before we start today. If you haven't seen the Etherfields first impressions video that Greg and I put up, you might want to check that out. It's generating a little bit of controversy. Maybe that's too strong a word. There are definitely people on different sides of Etherfields. Sorry, not Etherfields, Earthborn Rangers. That's the video we put up. We didn't have a great time with it, but we're sort of debating about whether we're completely done with it. I have some thoughts that maybe it'll get better. Greg feels pretty certain that it's not getting better, but we'll see. I will also be putting up my Vantage review in the next couple of days, which is an interesting juxtaposition with Earthborn Rangers, especially in the criteria of exploration and a cozy game, and also I guess in terms of science fiction setting, so you might want to keep your eye open for that. Now, Etherfields. We had a very interesting session last week. Interesting in more ways than one. So 14 sessions into Etherfields, it's obvious, well, maybe it's not obvious because I have a history of staying with a game even when I'm not having fun. But that's not the case with Etherfields. Etherfields has turned out to be quite addictive. But what was interesting about last week is that we spent the entire session, I don't remember how many hours, 3 or 4 hours, just in the dream world, map having these little slumber fights. And the slumber fights are what you do, is the busy work in between getting into the different interesting dreams. And in fact, we're playing with the version 2 rule set, which lets you minimize the time you spend in slumbers. But through a confluence of events, we found ourselves actually enjoying the hours we spent strategizing in the slumber world. And I think there are a couple reasons for that. One is that we started using these, what are they called? Deliverance cards that let you try to get rid of a slumber entity permanently. So we spent a good chunk of last session just trying to get the hang of how these deliverance cards work. Jonathan Warner came up with a new rule which lets us do this for free. So we first try to understand the entity in the slumber, and then sometimes we decide how to go against them. But we also had lots of health to recover and lots of cards to unseal. And we eventually got ourselves basically fully healed up. We have no sealed cards, and we have no distress. So we basically got ourselves to trigger Delta Phase, which restores us back to full health. We even got a little card a little token that we're getting to save. I forget if it was on stunned or paralyzed. I think it was on stunned, that we're going to house rule that we're allowed to keep. And we ended up, after our multiple hours, we went shopping, we got some very cool new cards, and we ended up in the gate in Profundum with 4 keys. And our plan was to enter this dream higher and higher. I always wanted to reach the top. Along the way, I forgot why. Maybe we'll fly away from here in a balloon. So we're basically ready to enter this dream, and we could have in our last session, but we decided to stop there since we didn't know how many hours this would take us. So we're going to start today's session just jumping straight into this dream, unless anyone has a better idea. Before we do, though, let's remind ourselves of the things we're trying to keep an eye out for. One is this mysteries card. If we see any of these images, we can look them up. And then in a very similar vein, in fact, so similar that I wonder why they're different. These we have to pay for and only once per dream. But very similar, we have these symbols that we are looking for. I say symbols, I just basically mean we are looking for any of this art. And whenever you spot one of these, it's actually pretty useful. You get at least some benefit and a little bit of a story. So maybe we'll just spend a moment looking at these so that we know we've got what looks like a cityscape. These look like window buildings. This we think are headlights of a train in a tunnel. Maybe this way. This looks like a person wearing a medal or a grandfather clock. This looks like maybe the rear view window of a spaceship. This looks like some cobblestones, purple cobblestones. This one, I don't know. It's some creature with teeth. I have no idea what this one is, but it's a very distinctive color scheme. This one, I don't know how you see what this is. This looks like someone's arm. This is, again, looks like Cthulhu's eye. I don't know. This looks like another cityscape scene in the day. This looks like newspapers. This is some sort of scene out of Saw. No idea what this is. This is some big Godzilla minus one eye. I don't know what this is. Some sort of bathysphere with eyes. Then we've got a little emerald underwater tank. This looks like maybe some checkered linoleum floor. Don't know what these two are. No idea what this is or this. Sometimes there's a radiator indoor scene near a window. Sometimes you're better off just looking for color schemes. Can't tell if this is a chair or a ladder. And this is, I don't know, some white. All right, so we're just going to put this aside. Let's take a look at the hand of cards we have. We are well set up for this dream. So we've got a whole set of progress cards, including a shotgun with 2 charges on it. Hand size increased by 1. When combined with our mask, we've now got a hand size of 9. This assistant is what lets us put charge. No, assistant is what lets us bring out new progress cards cheaper. I run to live. We've made good use of this. This basically just says we throw out a card to move a space. And this is the one that lets us have 2 extra progress cards. So max of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got room for 1 more. And this is what lets us charge up the shotgun. As far as our hand, we've got some good old standby cards. This is the card that, depending on the turn, can get us stuff. Now we've got Hurry, Hurry, which lets us throw away an item to choose an item. Pretty powerful. And then we've got a couple of fairly recent cards. This one, Smarty, lets us get rid of morphings. That we have found morphings to be one of the most painful parts of this game when we get in trouble. So that's a good card to have. Sea of Fire. This is a pretty cool card. I don't think we've actually used it yet though, but basically 6 plus however many red progress cards of Wrath. So it's basically like a 6 to 8 Wrath card. And it affects all entities on 1 tile in range 4. So we can strike them far away and it can hurt a bunch of them. And then if any dreamers on there, we would suffer 2, but that's not going to happen. And then we seal this and bad things might happen. So here's another card that we'd like to only use when we've got blue rerolls to spare. And then here's a card we got very recently. It's a progress card. And not only do you pay to get it out, but you have to pay 2 gems just to use it. It's a very high cost, but it's thematically fun because we got this when we made friends with this locker creature who just wanted to be friends with us. And what does it do? You bring it out on the board. You can move it. Seems very pointless to move it, but what you can do is you spend gems only during diamond turns to get out items. So very expensive. 2 gems to get it out, and then you spend a gem to restore an item. But note that if you have some engine for generating gems, which we do, you could theoretically use this to go grab, 3 items. As long as you can generate gems, and items are pretty powerful. So we now have 3 little companions that we know how to bring out: a cat, a locker, and a penguin. And we have been remiss in not bringing out more penguins. As soon as we get some free time here, we will. All right, so we are in Profundum, exactly where we want to be. We're going to go into this dream. So it costs us 3 keys. I am spending those keys. And we are going to enter the dream higher and higher. Anything to talk about before we start? John says, we also have a card somewhere in our deck that lets us throw items, which might be a fun combo to get off. Yes, they let us throw item and use any of the attributes, any of the intent as damage, I think. Oh, let me also show you this. Here is our deck. We've got about half and half. And we've got a nice thick deck now. So we're in pretty good shape. And we have 5 hours on the clock back at max. So we really could not be much better off than we are. Each streamer may cure 2 distress or unseal their top 2 cards. Okay, all wasted on us because we're maxed out. Take all 119 secret tiles and cards. Okay. 119. So we're hoping for a nice long hard mission here because we are so powerful. Okay, interesting cards. And 119 in our secrets. Okay, nice big set A through N of secret cards. Remember, one of the things we have not used is the ability, oh boy, 3 possible flaw cards you could get. But there is a way to peek at influence cards. So it looks like there's a way to get 3 influence cards in this dream. And we are allowed to pay to look at these. It's a weird rule, but it's called peek a card. So we just throw away a generic card to look at an item, an influence, a flaw, or a fate. So I think we might want to try doing this time. Jonathan remembers. Genetics warned us to be fully healed for this mission. Oh, did he? I don't remember that at all. Well, we are fully healed, so that's good timing. All right, rest of the setup. Reveal the setup floor tile, place it on C2. Okay, so let me push this out of the way. We're going to remember that we are on the Profundum gate. And then the setup floor tile. Okay, so there's only one setup tile. It goes on C2. And the 2 remaining floor tiles next to the dreamscape, they represent the foredeck. During this dream, the tile's order should not be altered. I mean, that's a weird thing to say because the foredeck, there's a W and a Y cards, and then there's the 2 cards marked as the foredeck. You can see them, but they're both 119X. So how do you know which one is first or second? Maybe you don't need, doesn't matter. This is going to change perhaps. So maybe the initial order doesn't matter. All right, well, let's just put this here. All right, here's our setup. Let's take a look at what it looks like before I put it on the board. If this floor is the highest, unlock the next floor. Oh, this is pretty cool. First of all, look at the art here. It's different. It's a much more impressionistic art. There's a lever you can pull for 0 cost. There's a number 1 and a number 9 that we have no idea what that means. We have never seen numbers like that before. and we can get to the next floor. We do have a good stairs card. Yes, we do. Okay, put the 2 remaining floors next to the dreamscape. All right. So here is our starting spot. What did these numbers mean, though? That's what I'm curious about. Okay, and then I've got a 4 deck. And now we're supposed to read 658. So let's go ahead and read 658. We have been crossing these endless swamps for days. Mosquitoes torment us constantly, and the ground bubbles with every step, releasing fumes that carry the stench of rotting earth. When the fog thins at last, we see many lights twinkling in the distance. This is the glass sea, where the water is replaced with glass, of course. Giant waves of deadly sharp shards and mud moving with the tides. We pause to admire their glittering beauty. 658, huh? Okay. We pause to admire their glittering beauty and majesty, but the deafening roar of splintering waves makes us keenly aware of the danger. A high tower stands in the middle of the sea, its top adorned with a moored balloon swaying in the wind. The tower seems to be sinking slowly into the sea of glass. How will we ever get to the top? Thousands of screeching voices carry to us from afar. A dark cloud of crows surrounds the tower. The stream of black birds scatters back and forth before turning in our direction and beginning their dive. We thread our way between the sparkling blades as fast as we can, burning our last residues of strength and determination. During setup, also reveal card C, the crows. And then we can flip a progress card or suffer a distress. Okay, so card C is crows. Let's take a look at card C before we decide what we want to do here. All right. How to get to the top? The art on these cards are beautiful. The tower seems to have no end. If all 3 floors are revealed, you can discard the 3 story tokens and add card K to the fate deck. Then reveal card G and tile Y. Or discard 6 story tokens, then reveal card F and tile Y. When you reveal tile Y, place it on the top of the tower and discard the lowest floor. So our starting card is marked as 4, and then we have 2 more. So it feels like maybe we're going this way. Like, are we going to keep climbing this tower? Let's understand this a little bit better. How to get to the top. So once we have all 3 floors, it sounds like, we can take 3 story tokens, which we will have had to get somehow, and add card K to the fate deck. So we could choose to add this fate to the fate deck, and then reveal G, which is just a normal card, and tile Y. And tile Y is one of our non-floor. We have 2 more tiles that we don't know what they are. So Y is one of them. Or we could discard 6 story tokens. Okay, so it looks like we have a mediocre choice and then a stronger choice if we were somehow to get 6 story tokens. So maybe ideally we should be aiming for 6 story tokens. Either way, we just get one of these cards, either F or G. They're both the same back, so we don't know what they are. Is it better to do 6 or better to do 3? We don't really know. I guess it depends on whether we have to work for them or whether they're coming out like a clock. So we don't know what we'd rather do. And then when you reveal Y, place it on the top of the tower and discard the lowest floor. It sounds like when we get to 3 floors, then we're going to do this thing, bring out the real top, and shove everything down. And so maybe we may have to get to both of these, but okay, we're climbing to the top. Keep your eye open for this bird, even though it's not a crow. Still no sign of what these numbers are, though. All right, now, what do we want to do? Do we want to flip a card or suffer a distress? Normally, it would be much cheaper for us to flip a card, just because we are so good at unflipping cards. So flipping a card means to flip one of these upside down. So for example, we might flip this assistant upside down. And it's easy for us to unflip cards because it's like our special ability. It costs us 3 green, so it's not free, but we are pretty good at it. So I guess I'd be inclined to do that. Just seems like we have no distress, so taking a distress is not a big deal. So you might say maybe we should just do that. But I think for efficiency's sake, it's just so easy for us to flip cards. And we have a card that we can flip now. Well, I was going to say we have a card we could flip now at no cost, but actually this is what was going to allow us to bring out others. Analysis is not that important to us. Rarely do we ever need to hold 9 cards, but we've got a full hand now, so we're going to need it right away. Surely it is better to... It's more efficient for us to flip cards than take distress. Okay, so I've chosen to flip a progress card instead of suffering a distress. Now at least we have lots of room to get injured. It does seem like we might be facing enemies, so let's allow ourselves to get injured. Okay, so that's our intro, and now we have to flip this card over and read the back. The goal is to reach the top of the tower and deal with the screamer. Special rules. Whenever you're instructed to unlock the next floor, take the top tile from the floor deck, place it on the Dreamscape board above the highest floor. Next, resolve the corresponding script by applying the method below. Find the upper number of the floor right below. Find the lower number of the new floor. For example, if the number from the floor below... It is talking now about these numbers here. Okay, so it's just saying the upper number of the below and the lower number of the one below. So basically just connect these two. And then we read that script. Interesting. Weird. But that sounds like depending on the order of these, we're going to read 2 different scripts. There's no way to know what order that should be. All right. And then out of turns. Get to the top, deal with the screamer. Okay, and that's our mission. Get to the top, deal with the screamer, and no entities out so far. No entities. I don't see any of our matching symbols here. The more concerning part is that we've got this lever that we don't have to pull. we can just go to the next floor without pulling this lever. That's spooky. I mean, surely we have to pull it because we can't very well go up to the top of this tower and then find out we should have pulled this lever. So we need to find out now, or I guess you could do the opposite. You could say we should reveal the entire tower before we pull this lever in case this lever causes some creatures to come out of the woodwork. Eventually, we'll have to pull this lever, though. So the thing about the script, when do we read it? Whenever you unlock the next floor. So every time we unlock a floor, a script gets triggered. I mean, it feels to me like surely we might as well start right on that thing and pull that lever, right? I mean, how does it expect us not to? Although, you could look at it like this game is all about coming back and learning what not to do if you have to replay a dream. So maybe like you pull this lever, horrible things happen, and you learn that next time you shouldn't. Is it as focused as it can be? I guess yes. Well, it's not the top camera. Okay, it's as focused as it can be. All right, so what is it going to be? Pull the lever or not? Pull the lever or not? Surely we're going to pull this lever. All right, I'm just doing it. I mean, we're strong. There's no one out. It's the time. If ever we're going to do it, now is the time. Uh-oh. The mechanism grinds loudly and specks of rust are flicked everywhere. The door shakes, the floor shakes slightly. Does it even work? If the water card isn't revealed yet, you won't achieve anything here. But if the water card is revealed, go to 152. Okay, so that's why we had to do that. Because now we know this lever has something to do with water. Maybe it's to drain this whole map out or something. All right, so that's fine. All good. And let's consider the cat. The flying cat is just going to wait down here for us in case we need to fly down to pull that lever or ask the cat to pull it. I suppose I didn't actually properly set up our game yet. So let me do that. So we shouldn't have actually been able to pull that lever yet. Where did I put our cards? Okay. All right, 12 turns. Okay. So our first turn is here, but there are no entities on the board, so it doesn't really matter to us. Let's draw our hand. Remember, we draw 4 cards and have a hand size of 6 plus 2 plus 1, 9. So we have room for all these cards. We've got a full set of 9, including some progress cards we want. However, we don't have the card at the top of our deck that lets us unflip a card. So that's unfortunate. We're on the diamond. Ah, this is perfect for us. Okay, so we're on the diamond turn, so we can get 2 blue gems if we use this card. That's exactly what we want to do. So I'm using that card to get us 2 gems. Is there a better place for me to put this so you can see what we have? Where does it go where you can see it? I guess on today's game, it could go right there. All right, 2 blue gems. That's great. We would like to get out more. We would like to get out more progress cards. But this is the way we normally get out progress cards, with the assistant. So maybe we just wait on our progress cards. Here is the card Jonathan was talking about that lets us jump between stairs. So we might want to hold on to that. But look at this craziness. We have no green. We started out with a deck full of green, and now we are lacking in green. But we do have the gems. So maybe we just move over here and use the gems to unlock the next 4. Is there anything else we want to prepare? I think maybe we will put out the steam bomb with 4 yellow right now. Because that steam bomb sure can come in handy. Uncontrolled flight, I don't think we're going to be using this much. Helpful Huntress, what is this card? Poison an entity in range or gain 6 wrath. That's pretty cool. That's because we made friends with this person. That was the Huntress. That's a nice card. All right, so what we're going to do is, we don't need uncontrolled flight because we're barely traveling, so I'm just going to use that for 1 movement. Then I'm going to use a gem for 2 green. Well, no, before I use the gem to bring out a new 4, which could trigger this for all we know. Let me get this steam bomb up. So I'm going to go ahead and spend these 4 yellow to place the steam bomb. That's its cost, 4 yellow. These yellow cards also work well with some of the cards we have that build on how many yellow you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what we're allowed. That gets us a 5 wrath. And then I think we're fine. We can now hold more cards. I'm going to use the gem to generate 2 green, which is going to unlock the next 4. Okay, so I'm taking the next 4 from our deck. And let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we're going to have to read a script in a second, but let's take a look at this weird place. It's like an abandoned tower. I see stairs. But now look at this. How are we supposed to get over through that wall? We can get through that wall actually with our stair card. So we actually have a way to jump to this location. I see, you could have also used this. You could also stand here and relocate onto this space. Or we could walk over here to get card N for 3 blue gems. This is a pretty cool mission so far, until the entities come. That's what I always say. Okay. Any symbols here for us? I don't think so. All right, let's run the script and make sure we know how to do it. So we're placing this card here. And the way the rules told us to do this is, I just need to know the order. We take the upper number of the four below and the lower number of the new four. So it's 1, 7. So we're reading script 1, 7. Someone stands on the roof and screams. Who are they shouting at? Who are they shouting at? Why can nothing be good? Everything is wrong. Is it my fault? Things won't get better in this world. You'll see for yourself. Get used to it. A stream of regret mixed with anger flows endlessly downward. Reveal card A, water. Discard a gem to gain a threat and add it to your distress pool. In this dream, treat threat in the same way as distress. Gain 1 boo gem or 1 story token. Whoa, these are tough choices. So what is it doing here with this gain threat or distress? It seems to be the only reason it would do this is if it was temporary or if they thought we were going to need more than the normal limit. All right, well, let's do it in turn. First, we're going to get card A, which is water, has already come out. I thought we might catch a break before this triggered. Don't fear the water, it says. Don't fear the water. This card is active until this dream ends. Water is flooding the whole tower. All spaces of the lowest floor are always considered underwater or water tiles. At the very beginning of each dreamscape phase, discard the lowest place floor tile and put it at the bottom of the floor deck. Slide the rest of the floor tiles down on the dreamscape. If a floor tile with a dreamer on it is discarded, read this. Okay, so what's happening here? It's basically saying that every turn, the whole tower sinks down. And we need to get them all out and then do this special thing. So basically now every we're going to have to be moving at least 1 tower up each turn. And then sometimes 2. So we've got a clock on us now. The beginning of each dreamscape. The dreamscape phase is the enemy phase. So we get our turn and then the dreamscape gets its turn. But Jonathan says, maybe now is the time to go down and try the lever. Because the lever is going to get wiped out. It's interesting, it's going to cycle, right? So at the end of this turn, this tile is going to disappear, but it will come back out eventually in this cycle of 3. But Jonathan has a point. Like, we could go down there and throw that lever before this tile disappears. But we'd have to go down there and then be able to get out of there, which we can do. Now I wish I hadn't spent all that stuff to get that steam bomb out, because we could have used that extra stuff. But we do have enough to do that and get out. All right, I'm going to put this on the board, but we have a different question to deal with first, right? Which is this question. We have 1 gem. We could discard it or take a distress. And then we can gain it or gain a story token. Huh. So let me show you something interesting, though. I'm sort of inclined to just gain as many tokens as possible so we can do this, but I already see a problem with that, which is at the end of the turn, this is going to disappear, and if we're on this space, we'll be locked into a corner where we can't move, even with stairs, because there's no stairs here, so we can't teleport to stairs. So assuming the lever doesn't stop the water, we could move down here. We throw this lever. And then we could get ourselves here or here. But if we get ourselves here and the tower goes down, we're in trouble. So after we pull the lever, if it doesn't stop the water, we're going to miss out on this. But we can't do this now anyway because we don't have the 3 gems. Okay, so we're not going to be doing this. So I say we go down, we pull the lever, and then we prepare to walk up here. Where are the crows again for a second? Okay, so we could rush this and we could open up the 3rd level of floors right on this turn if we wanted to. If we ignored the lever, walk here, stairs up to here, we could actually pull this, use this 4 to unlock the 3rd floor. But the problem is, even if we did, we don't have story tokens. So it would do us no good to get this level out. So there's no rush. So I guess what I would be inclined to do, see if you agree with me, I would be inclined to take the blue gems. Take both of these blue gems now to get ourselves in a strong position, a flexible position, and then once we do the lever, and then see if we can't understand how this tower works with maximum gems for flexibility. But Jonathan says take the story token, like every opportunity take the story token. Okay, so let's split the difference. I'm not going to discard a gem. I am going to take a distress, but then we're going to take a story token, says Jonathan. Okay. So let's give ourselves a story token. I guess we'll use these letters for those, and we'll put them on the crow card. All right, maybe Jonathan has a point. Maybe it's just I want to unlock this, so I want the gems, as many gems as possible. But maybe Jonathan's right. Maybe story tokens are the ones that are harder to get. All right, we're going to try to pull this lever just in case it stops the whole water from problem. So I'm going to keep our stairs. Probably this is the one we'd like to hold on to as well. Oh yeah, because we're going to need to get out of here. Guess we don't really need the locker. We don't need this card and threat. Okay, let's just assume we're not going to need to fight anything yet. I'm going to throw away this one card using the I Run to Live ability just to move one space. Then we're going to pull the lever. All right, here we go. We're pulling the lever. If the water card isn't revealed, don't do anything. But if the water card is revealed, go to 152. You may seal 6 cards or spend a wrath, or spend 10 wrath to put a block token on the water card. There can't be more than one block token on the water card. The next time you resolve the water card, discard the block token instead of the floor tile. Yes, I Run to Live is very useful, especially when we only need to move one space, which seems to happen a lot. Okay, look how expensive it is to slow down the water tile for one turn. Wow. Also, this says to put a token on this tile. Why does it say on this tile? This card is active. All right. Well, this surely. Oh, it's interesting, huh? I mean, is there any reason for us to do it now? It doesn't seem like there is. It seems like it would be premature for us to try to stop the water at this point. We just need to get off this tile. And get enough story. And once we have enough story tokens, then we might stop the tower and try to go up. But not for now. All spaces of lowest tile are always water. Place that token on this tile. Okay, you are 100% correct. It is reminding us to put this here so that we know it's about to sink. And I suppose it's not just that it's about to sink, it's that we do have some powers that let us swim in there. What's going to happen to this guy? I guess he's going to go, he's going to disappear. All right, I'll just put him aside. All right, so this is not the right time to use the lever, but we are going to eventually use it, we think. So now we have to get off this tile if we don't want to get sunk. But I want to remind you of something. We saw a card that said, don't fear the water. Don't fear the water. And it doesn't say we die if we get underwater. It just says, read this script. So it could actually be that we go underwater and it's useful to us. Do we want to try that now rather than later? Like, if we think we're going to be exploring this possibility that we shouldn't fear the water, would it be better to do it now? I guess my question is, let's say we manage to keep ourselves out of the water for the whole game and can succeed, will we still wonder what's under the water? Maybe the end card could give us scuba gear. So it sounds like you're saying let's be cautious until we explore this whole tower more and see if there's gear to get. Yes, maybe. Also, you might say, okay, let's wait till we get enough gems that we could swim out of the water if it gave us an opportunity, and we're not yet at that point. All right, I still am very curious about letting the water get us, but we're not going to do it now, huh? Okay. So we are going to use our Huntress to move to 1, 2. And that's a safe enough place for us to be. So we're going to stop our turn here. Now we do the Dreamscape phase. This has no effect, but the water has an effect. So the lowest floor gets removed. It goes at the bottom of the floor deck. There's only one more card in the floor deck to come out. So it goes at the bottom, and this slides down. And this is over here like this. No one fell into the water, so we're okay. We're blocked from getting in here. We haven't seen the next level yet till we do this. And then this goes here. This is going to sink next. Well, that's our turn. Our next turn is this. Again, doesn't really affect us. To get out of here, we could use 4 yellow, or we can use our stairs card. Although, boy, it sure would be nice to save this for a big trip. But I think we're going to have to probably spend it just to get out of here. Okay, let's draw up. Still no ability to flip our progress card. Effort. Flap. Hurry and hurry. Okay, well, yellows are good for us. So we could either spend 4 yellow to jump here. Actually, we'd have to jump here. That would be very wasteful. I think we're going to use the stairs to get through this wall. We're on a stairs. We want to go to a stairs. I think rather than keep this forever, let's go ahead and use it. So I'm going to use this to jump from these stairs to these stairs. And then we're going to use 2 yellow to unlock the next floor. The next highest floor is here. You can't see that, so I'll change the view so you can. Now remember, there's no true high. This is currently the highest floor we've seen, but they cycle. All right, what have we got here? Oh, wow, we're in trouble. Are we in trouble? We are going to sink this turn because I used that card. Because look, oh, no, we could go this way. We could circle around. Sorry, I was wrong. We can't go straight up though. All right, let's take a look at this for a second. We've got a hideout. We've got rage. We need to unlock the next floor. We've got a little message here that says the tower seems to be aligned in a way. And then we've got card M that needs 3 gems that we don't know how to access. Wow. Seems to be aligned in a way. Wonder what that means. So if we put this here, and now we have to read a script, which is the upper number of the 4 books. So 43 is the script we're going to read. And then we're going to have to get off this tile unless we're okay with going underwater. But let's go ahead and read 43 first. The voice from the roof's getting stronger. Stop being such a wimp. Grow up. The world is brutal, and that's good. Nobody will pity you. You'll never make it. Do you think I didn't climb this tower by myself? How did I get here? Discard a gem. This is the same thing. Wow, we are just getting distress every time, or gems. All right, well, we're going to do Jonathan's thing. We're going to take another story token as our second choice, because that seems to be currently the only way to get story tokens. So I'm going to give us another story token. But now, do we take a distress or give up our gem? I don't think we can give up the gems because we need to do these. So these gems are precious to us to get card M and N. I mean, we don't know if they're important, but I really don't want to give it up. But we are taking distress once per turn, each floor we unlock. Huh. So every time one goes into the water, we have to spend more to unlock. And every time we unlock, we take a distress. That's very dangerous. Every time we take an unlock, we take a distress. So it's sort of like a hard clock here. But maybe this is the thing to do. As soon as we get 3, then we can rush to the top and do this story card. So it seems like we have some decisions to make. We may have some tough decisions to make. I'm going to take another distress here. So I've taken another distress instead of spending a gem. I want those gems. It's a good thing we were fully healed here. So we are going to be able to get off this tile. One, two, three. We could spend 3 yellows to get up here and check that hideout. Maybe that's the way to go. I think maybe one of the big decisions we're going to have to make is whether we're going to unlock these crows with 3-story tile tokens or 6. 6 feels very risky. I think we may have to do it with 3. Let's get ourselves up into this hideout, because surely we need to walk over there in any case, and we need to get off this tile. Although, do we want 3 wrath? No, we don't care about that. Okay, I'm going to use 3 yellow to go 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to check the hideout. We could wait until our next turn to check the hideout, but I think it might be better to see if the hideout gets rid of water. All right, let's go ahead and check the hideout, and maybe we'll take our first break here. What am I looking for? This card? No. Doesn't matter. Okay. It's 77. One could hide under the stairs. What should we hide from? If we don't know yet, don't worry about doing this. If the crow monster is on the dreamscape, and if there are any cards B available, gain 1 B card, discard the crow monster, return its card to the secrets of this dream. All right, you can't really ask for, I mean, this is sort of good. We're exploring things that we don't need yet. But the hideout is good for hiding from the crow monster. So if the crow monster comes out, look for this hideout. And we're going to keep seeing these tiles over and over again. So we're not doing that now, but you need a B card to get rid of a crow monster. Maybe that's a B card. What are the B cards? The B cards are flaws. The B cards are flaws. I wonder if that's what happens. You go in the water, you get this flaw, but then you can spend the flaw to get away from the crow monster. Don't forget, we could peek at these item cards, Jonathan, to see if one of them is like scuba gear or something. Or the flaws. We can peek at the flaws too. So to peek, we just have to throw away a card. So we may want to start doing that soon. Let's end this turn. And then we'll take a break. Jonathan says, right now we do have the health to be able to run down the clock. We do, just barely though. We don't know how much time we're going to need, how many wounds we're going to get afterwards. All right, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So we're going to end our turn. This goes off, no enemies, water goes off. This tile sinks. It goes to the bottom of the floor deck. This goes down. Water starts seeping up through the floor. We draw our 4 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is our hand, our draw pile. Don't forget, we're going to have to reshuffle our cards soon, too. That could also seal or distress us. Okay, and now we're on turn 3. Still no monsters. And what have we drawn here? Now, this is our card of the guy that likes searching in water to find an item. So I think we might use this right now to grab an item. in case it's of any use. Or we could say we're in too big a rush and we shouldn't do that, but probably we should use that. So we have enough 3 wrath and a move to go unlock the next 4. So that's good. Probably we should use this to get an item. Probably an item is better than 2 green or 1 yellow. All right, let's take a break. I'll see you in 8 minutes. All right, we were just discussing in the chat about voluntarily going in the water, summoning the penguin and pushing him in the water. Jonathan says, at least wait until there's someone to run away from. And we could end up down there by accident. I do think that, given that we will have seen everything except these gem cards, we might be, this seems like it's the mission to use the peak ability, and maybe it would behoove us to look at this M and N card. M and N are influence cards, to see if they are things to help with the water. So with that said, I think what we should do here is, let's start by using the searcher in water to restore an item. So remember, restoring an item means getting an item, a card at random, but some of these cards look different. It's weird. Let's see. Actually, this is the Book of Water card. This is the one we want to get. It feels like, I think we're going to take this item. We're using the searcher card. It's supposed to get a random card, but this is so thematically appropriate that we're just going to take this one. So let's take a look at what this item that we've never had before. Because life came out of water. You can only use it while you're in a water space. You place a well and you enter the sunken room. Which, this is basically like the dark room ladder. Probably will let us travel between rooms that are underwater. This is not great for us to use while we're here because there's only one water room. But let's just keep it out. Now, back to our game. We're going to need to get another floor out, which is fine. We have cards to do it, but what I'm thinking is, we use the shotgun to open up the next floor, and then we use some of these other fighting cards to do some peeking. I don't think there's a chance in hell we're using this locker card this game because we need the gems. So here's what I suggest. I suggest we start peeking Let's start by peeking at the M card. And Jonathan also said the way when we're in the hideout, he was saying I read this wrong. If there are any B cards available, gain a B card. So I thought it was saying we spend a B card, but now I see it is telling us we get a flaw if we need to fight the crow monster to make him go away. So I am inclined now. We need to be able to walk with one and then generate at least this wrath and then walk on to the next card. So I think we need to keep these two cards to get off this tile and get the next 4 open. But these 3 cards are disposable. So I'm going to say we're going to do the peek action, which we've never done. So this is kind of exciting. So peek a card to take a 5-second peek at a secret or tile with an influence item for our fate. So we can't look at a normal, we cannot use that ability to see what this tile looks like, which I thought maybe we would do. Then we could learn if it's underwater, then we would know it's safe to go underwater. We can't do that. It has to either be a slumberback or an influence item, flaw, or fate. So we could do it to see what the B cards are that scare away the crow monster. We can't do it on this, this, or this. But we can do it on this item. We could do it on this, probably not. But the M and the N's that we know how to get, I think I'd be more inclined to do it on. And this B flaw. So I'm thinking now we spend 2 of these cards to look at these. What do you prefer to look at? I think maybe, I don't know, we haven't met the crow yet. Presumably that crow is probably going to be up at the top of the tower. Any preference? Maybe we just do one at a time here. We add the K card to the fate deck if we spend 3. If we spend 3, we add K, and if we spend 6, we add F. So K is that. So if we add K, this is not going to help us during this dream, right? We don't add it to our hand. We just add it to a fate deck. So it would affect how this game's going to end. I mean, it would affect future stuff. The alternative to K is F, which we don't get to see. Huh. G. All right, so probably if we do it the worst way, this is going to be some fate penalty that we bring out, but it might be worthwhile doing. You add K and G or add F if you spend 6. Add K and then reveal G. So either way, you reveal a secret card that we're not allowed to peek at, either G or F. But if you do it the cheap way, you get a fate card added. So we'd rather not add that, but it's not the end of the world. It's probably just something that makes our life a little bit harder while we're walking around the dreamscape. It certainly will not affect our current game. So I'm more inclined to want to know what these are, because these are very costly for us to get. So I think these are the most significant for me, and especially since we probably will only need to be able to get one of them. So I think it's worth us figuring out if they're any good. And then if they're not, we can stop hoarding gems. So I think I'd like to look at M and N. Those are both the 3 gems. Okay, so I'm going to throw away this card, the locker, because I don't think we're going to use it. And I'm going to have us look at the N card. Or maybe we should do it in order. M first and then M. Now, we are not going to obey this 5-second thing. We've spent a card. We're just going to look at it for a while. Here we go. This is what we would get if we paid 3 gems at this location. It's a progress card, a green progress card called Cleansing. Seal this card to remove a flaw card you just drew without resolving it. So here we have a way to get a flaw from scaring off the bird and then cleanse the flaw. And it's a 1 green. Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe if we got a very terrible flaw card that couldn't be gotten rid of in any other way, but most of the time you can get rid of the flaw cards, if I remember correctly. You just got to steal a whole bunch of cards or something. So this is not... I think I'd be more inclined to not waste our gems on this. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but it's not critical. All right, that's M. Just remember, we looked at M. I think probably we'd be better off not peeking at more cards yet, because we might as well give us max flexibility. All right, let's walk over now. That's a 1 walk. I suppose we could use one of these, but we don't know how we're going to use it. No, I think we use our shotgun. So I walk over with this yellow card, and then we're going to use this shotgun, which would normally generate 1 plus the number of yellow cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 shotgun blast generates 4 wrath. I think that's what... It's a little inefficient to use a shotgun when we might have to fight someone, but I'd rather keep these cards for flexibility. So there's 1 shotgun blast to generate 4 wrath, and now we're unlocking the next 4, which should be a floor we've seen before. It is. There's our... Where am I? All right, there was our starting card, but this is going to generate a new script now because of the order. So this is 6, 9. So let's go ahead and read script 6, 9. All right. Oh, shoot, it's the monster. The voice on the roof is slowly fading away and aging? However, we can hear it clearly. We have to be closer to its source. You've wasted my life. I could have done a lot, but I didn't have a chance because of you. Why do you exist at all? I hate you. Is this like, are we talking to ourselves here? All right, gain a gem or a story token. And following Jonathan's logic, we're going to take a story token. Never a gem. We are now have enough to maybe get to the top. However, we have now got a crow monster. Card I. This is where life is going to get more complicated for us. Oh, he morphs. Oh my god. Place this card on the entity slot. This card is active until the dream ends. Spawn the crow monster. Now, he moves 2, he morphs, and he causes us to either suffer distress or lose all of our gems. However, discard the monster when its tile is discarded. So if he gets stuck on the flooded tile, he'll sink. And we're not going to get another one for a while. Okay, the crow monster. Where is our crow monster? Okay, here is going to be our crow monster. Flying snake creature. Maybe this is better for the crow monster. I guess they're both bad. All right, let us. I don't know why I don't have my normal table out here. Okay, so the crow monster comes out, and he has to come out here. So he's not falling into any water now. Let's see how he's going to move. He's going to move first, and then if we're in range 1, we'll suffer. And then he's going to morph. That's terrible. And in fact, if we have to get over here, he is going to be within range. I want you to also notice something. Where is the way for us to attack this creature? There is none. There is no way to attack this creature. However, we are next to the hideout. So we could right now get rid of him. If we don't, he's going to hurt us. This is a bad arrangement for us because he's going to move and bite us. If we wanted to kill him off and take this flaw, we would move, use the hideout, and then use our run to live just to move off this tile. I think it's probably worth it to do. Jonathan is pointing out, we now know the pattern of entries. Yeah, so it's 2 wounds and then a crow. So if we get rid of this crow now with this hideout, we'll be free of him for quite a while, and we're right near it. So I think that's what we have to do. I think we're going to have to walk over here, get the flaw, get rid of this guy, and then we'll have a little bit more time before he comes out again. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk over here. We're going to check the hideout, which is 77. I think this is the thing to do. We don't know what this fly is, but we do know a way we could sort of get rid of it. Okay, if the Crow Monster is on the Dreamscape, and if there are B cards, which there is, gain a B card and get rid of him. I'm assuming you agree with this plan, Jonathan? Because if we don't do this, this guy's going to be chasing us for 3 rounds. Better to do this now while we can benefit from it. Don't you think? Otherwise, he's going to eat our gems. He's going to hurt us. And then another one will come out. Okay, so we are doing this. We're taking flaw B. We have no idea what this is. We're about to find out. But we are getting rid of him. He is gone. Unless there's a way to drown him, but I don't think there is. So I'm going to get rid of him. And let's see what the flaw we got is. Discard 1 ether to get rid of this flaw. Or something changed. Was it there before? Or we lose an item. Discard an active item and restore an item? This is not so bad. We could have peeked at this card, Jonathan. We should have. We should have. But look at this. Discard an item, restore an item. Huh. That's not the worst. In fact, sometimes that'll be good. All right. That's fine. I'll live with that. I'm going to put that in our discard pile. We're going to get it soon. We should have peeked at that, though. I'm assuming both of the flaws are the same, but I don't know if that's right. All right, now we have to get off this tile, but now we have a little bit more breathing room. Do we want to pull this lever? We may very well want to pull this lever next turn. All right, well, let's get off this tile by spending this to move up. Now we're off the sinking tile. That's just a 1 yellow. That's a reasonable place to end our turn. Okay, so we're going to end our turn here. This happens. There's no monster on the board. No entity. Our next turn is here. The water sinks this tile. Let's think for a moment here before I do this. We could pull this lever now. Jonathan says it's cheaper if you plan on pulling now. That's what Jonathan is saying. Yes, okay, so hold on. Let's rewind a bit. We're here. It's the end of our turn. Now, if we pull this lever now to keep this from sinking, that would cost us 6 sealed cards. Then this would stay out. On our next turn, we go here. We unlock the 3rd floor. And then we could run this right after that. Should we do that? Is this the time to make the run for it? Or do we want to do this 3 more times and get 6 cards on here? I don't think it's worth getting, well, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? I suppose it's not, now is a good time to do it. Now is a good time to do it. We've got no crow on our tail. We're standing on the lever. Do you really think we're going to have to run it again, Jonathan? It sort of depends whether you think how much better do you think our world will be if we do this 6? Like, is 6 bad or good? Seems like it's good, except that why would we be rewarded for cycling this same set of rooms over and over again? Six is better, yeah, 6 is better. Okay, 6 is better. We're probably strong enough to do 6. How strongly do you want to do 6? We're in good shape to do this, but we're going to be in good shape again. And we can suffer the distress. You want to try to go for 6, Jonathan? All right, Jonathan says he wants to go for 6. All right, so we are going to let the 4 collapse. All right. This has collapsed. We are up here. We're not going to pull this lever. Upwards we go. All right, well, there's our cards. There's our cards that let us generate gems. But, boy, they cannot be used. We have no yellow cards. That's pretty painful. Well, we don't need tactics for this mission. So I think what we'll do is we'll be using our run to live card, which is absolutely super helpful for us. So I'm gonna move up with 1 card, and then we're not gonna be curing our distress because I'm not even sure we're allowed to. I mean, I don't know. Are we allowed to cure distress with that? Let's go ahead. Use a card to move up here. Now we need 2 green. I mean, do we want to use this to try to cure distress? It would just be 1 cure to seal this card. Probably not. So let's go ahead and spend this card to do this action and unlock the next 4. We're going to be in trouble if this is the 4 that is blocked except for yellow, but I don't think it is. Okay, the next 4. Well, it is, but not yet. We will have one more turn for that. We haven't looked at the end card. I'd like to keep these to get gems. But probably we're not going to be able to keep both of them. But this card we don't need. So I'm going to go ahead and spend this to move 1 space. Just so we're off the water. Although that you could argue that we should use our Book of Water to see what that does, but probably it just lets you travel from water to water. So that's not good for us yet. Okay, I'm going to save these. Hopefully we can use one of them for gem. We need yellow in order to get off the space. Otherwise we will be falling into the water if we get unlucky. We're going to end our... No, I didn't read the thing. Okay. And did I not read... Oh, yeah. 117, we know, and we know 117. Okay, so this is what... why can nothing be good? Everything's all wrong. Is it my fault? Things won't get better in this world. You'll see for yourself. Get used to it. All right, so the water would come out if it's not, but it's already out. We're not discarding a gem. Yeah, okay, there we go. I paid to peek, but didn't. No, I didn't pay to peek. I paid to open up the next 4, but I did not pay to peek. But we could peek at... And if we wanted to, but we don't even have the gem, so we're not going to do it. All right, discard a gem. No, I don't want to discard a gem, so I'm going to have to take another wound. That's 3 out of our 8 max. And then we're going to gain a story because Jonathan wants us to get 6. Okay, we've got 4 out of our 6. We have moved up into this space, and we're going to stop our turn here. No entity to move. Turns over. Here's our next turn. We have plenty of extra hours if we need it. This thinks. We're here. We're in a sort of desperate situation here. And now we're drawing our 4 cards. There's only 2 to draw. Now we have to reshuffle. I think this is a case where maybe sealing cards is better because I'm a little worried about our distress. But we have some important cards in this deck, like the Stairs travel card. I'm just scared to take a distress, but maybe we should. How are we going to pay for this reshuffle? Do you think we should take a distress, or do you think we should seal 3 cards? You said to peek, but didn't. I don't think I did. No, I didn't peek. I just tried to get up here onto this space and trigger it. All right. So there's my 4 cards. We need to decide how to pay for this, though. What are we going to do? Suffer distress or seal 3 cards? It's 3 of our base cards, so I think we'll seal these 3 cards. Just because we know it's not going to be the staircase one. It's going to be base cards. So I'm sealing these 3 cards. I think it's always good to seal a couple cards. That way, if you ever get something that lets you unseal, it's an option. Now, we need to get off of here. We are going to be in a little bit of trouble, actually, because we need 4 yellow and then 2 yellow. So I don't know how we're going to generate enough yellow to get off this tile. Yeah, we are in trouble. We are going into the water. There is no way for us to avoid getting into the water right now. Do we all see why that is? We have no way to generate yellow intent. That is the only way. That and the stairway card is the only way for us to get out of this locked-in corner here. And we have drawn 0 yellow. Well, we could draw 3 cards with this. Seal this card to draw 3 cards, or return this card to the influence market to draw 6. However, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we're going to seal this card to draw 3, just to give us some more options. I'm not going to throw it away for 6, especially since we'd have to get rid of all these. But I don't see how we survive. I don't see how we avoid going underwater. There's our 3 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Oh, the Book of Water might let us get past that wall. You are absolutely right. Okay, so we did get 2 yellow now. Actually, though, we can get gems. Very interesting. Okay, so let's do our stuff, and then I think maybe we do what you said, though. So if we get rid of a green, a red, and a yellow, we get 3 gems. Okay, so there's There's 3 gems. So we pulled it off with that 1 card that we've been holding on to. So now we have enough gems to actually trigger 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So actually we're going to avoid going to the water, even though I think really the water might be okay for us. Okay, now we could do that again, but boy, would I like to get more. Oh, we don't have, there's only 2 gems left, so we don't want to do this, but we could seal this for 3 yellow. But Jonathan is probably right that the water will let us bypass this wall instead of spending 4. I think that might be better. Okay, let's try it. So we're going to try to use this. So we have to spend 1 green, which is not a big deal. We'll spend this one here, this inner light. And we are placing a well and entering the sunken room. We're doing this as much to just learn how this tile works. It seems like it's the right time to find out. I have a strong suspicion it's going to travel from one water to another, which I thought was useless. But Jonathan points out that if we can travel from one water to another, we can pop ourselves over this wall. Okay, let's see what 235A is. Okay, it looks like we were right. However, the cost is just as bad. It's 3 yellow to come out of the water. So it's really would have been more efficient for us to just pay the yellow. But actually it gets us 1 space closer to where we want, so that's fine. So we discarded this card. We lost this item. I mean, it cost us 3 greens. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's better, but we had to learn how this works. Okay, so there's an eel in here. What else? Anything else of import? Any symbols? So there's an optional thing. We can seal a card and cure a distress. I see a little birdie down here, but he's not the bird we're looking for. A little bioluminescent crayfish-like thing. Some lily pads, a giant eel. And it works just like the dark room. It pops us out of there. It only lasts for 1 turn. There's some weird things in here, but I don't see how they're of any use to us. So we're in the well. So actually we're not on a space. We have to spend a yellow to jump in here and then spend 3 more to jump out. So it's the 4 yellow. It's basically not saving us nearly anything. So it told us to bring it out next to us. Place your dreamer in any space. Okay, so I'm wrong. That ability pops us right in here, so we can start ourselves right on this. So now we are going to spend 3 to get out of there. 3 yellow. I guess we're going to use... I'd rather seal this card to get the 3 yellow, but we kind of... I don't see a different way to do it unless we want to... Unless we want to use... Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. So 3 yellow to relocate. So I'm going to seal this card to generate those 3 yellow. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to seal this card to generate the 3 yellow. And pay that to jump out here, which is where it allowed us to cross this. And then the sunken room is gone. Okay. I like the dark room better. All right, now we're going to spend our blue gem as 2 yellow to unlock the next 4. Boy, did we just... I mean, it's miraculous that we avoided sinking here, but I don't think it's going to be the death of us. But I don't know if it would be good or bad. All right, so we've unlocked the next highest 4, which is here. Unfortunately, we're still going to have to walk around this. But that's our hideout. That's where we're going to hide from the crow once more, I guess. Okay, 43. Stop being such a wimp. Grow up. The world is brutal. That's good. Nobody will pity you. You'll never make it. Do you think I can't climb this tower by myself? How did I get here? All right, so now we do have a bunch of gems now. But is it worth it to avoid a distress? Maybe it is at this point. I think it is worth it. No. No, I want those gems. I'm not going to discard it. I think the way we're going to win this mission is to just take wounds close to our max. All right, and now we're gaining another story token. So we are now up to 5. We are almost ready to make a run for it. What is sinking causes us to lose our story tokens? In retrospect, it might have been better to sink in the water earlier. Well, that's what I said, but we're going to try to do this without sinking in the water. All right, we're at 4 wounds out of 8. We're halfway done with our wounds. Now we have to get off this tile. But we have gems to spend. I'll tell you what we can do. When it comes time to turn off the water for a turn, this is a nice card we could use rather than sealing to get our 10 wrath. So we're going to spend 2 gems. I guess we should spend 1 gem. We're going to spend 1 gem to get ourselves 1 to move 2 spaces. Get off this sunken tile. And then we are done for now. No reason to not end our turn. There's our new turn. This tile sinks. This goes on the bottom. So remember our plan. If we want to do exactly what we did before, we go here, we bring out the crow, we walk here, we get the flaw to hide out from him. And then we've got a tile, pull the lever, bring the next one up, and we'll have our 6 or more. I guess once we get 6, we'll just get gems instead. Okay, here we go. We're making a run for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our pocket ladder of no help. Hesitation, that's a good card to have. And we're almost maxed out. All right, so we're going to come up here. We're going to shotgun this, unlock it, get some more gems, bring out the bird, hide from the bird. Maybe we spend the gems to get that flaw. I think we're okay. We're actually in a pretty good shape to get more gems. Uncontrolled flight. That might be good for us. Maybe if I could save that, I will. We don't want here. We want to move 2. I'd rather not spend these 2 cards for that. There are 3 gems, but as soon as we do this, we're not going to want the gem. Okay, let's change our So Shiny and throw out the red card we don't need. Okay, that's going to get us 3 more gems. Now we've almost maxed out on gems. With those gems, I'm going to spend 1 to go 2 spaces. And then we are going to there's no way we're going to use this card, but we need 3. Could always roll the die, but I think we're better off just shooting the shotgun. When we recycled our debt, our deck, we should have put a charge on the shotgun. That wasn't smart, but I won't rewind it. I'm going to spend our last charge on shotgun to generate the 3 wrath to unlock the next 4. Okay. So the next 4 gives us, is it 69? Okay, which we should have seen already, right? Yes. Okay. So here's the crow monster and our 6th story token. So we're going to take the 6th story token. We now have 6. So all we need to do now, Jonathan, is get all 3 levels of the tower up. And our plan is going to be to walk here, kill the bird, or walk by him. But we definitely need to pull this lever and then get up here. We could try to get by this bird. He's going to be here. He attacks, he moves, and he attacks. So maybe the worst thing he's going to do is add 1 distress on us. That's not the worst thing in the world. All right, we're going to have to make a decision about the hideout, but let's not worry about that yet. The most important thing is for us to pull the lever. You know what? We don't really have to pull the lever. If we can bring out the 3rd tower and then trigger this, we don't really have to pull the lever. Because presumably once we get the top of the tower, it won't matter if this sinks. On the other hand, we do have the ability to pull that lever. We can pay for it pretty easily. So maybe to be safe, we pull that lever. One, two, three, 4, and then 2 green. Okay, so we can walk with these yellows and just do that, but we could also pull the lever. So all we need to do is unlock the next 4, and then we don't have to be anywhere. We just trigger this. Place it on the top of the tower and discard the lowest floor. So I don't think we need to pull the lever. Because I think as soon as we bring out the tower, this 4 is going to go away on its own. And it won't sink. So we don't need to pull the lever. Let's just get up here, reveal the thing, and then do this. But we have to bring the crow out. All right, so let's bring the crow out. He's right there. I don't think we'd lose 2 distress from this crow. I think we're only going to take 1. But here's the problem. So we're going to be able to get by him. He'll eventually move and he'll hurt us for distress. But what we don't know is how much time we're going to have to spend at the top of the tower with this guy eating us. So I wonder if we shouldn't. I think we should probably get rid of him. Because if we don't know how much time we're going to have to spend with him, and we don't know how long we're going to get to a hide out again. I think we can't take a chance with this guy. So I think we gotta hide him out again. Although I would really like to peek at that flaw to know whether it's the same, but I think that's too wasteful. On the other hand, we don't really need, well, we might need green eventually. All right, well, my pitch is that there are 2 more Bs. Do you want to peek at one and see if it's terrible? We could afford that. I think we can afford to do that with one of these greens. Or the amulet. I don't think we need any more reds. Okay. We are going to spend the amulet card to peek at the flaw to see if it's the same flaw as the other B or if it's different. Oh, it's different. Okay, let's see. If we got this one, we can get rid of it with an ether. You cannot use contact actions. And if you were playing cooperatively, you wouldn't even allowed to speak. That's terrible for a cooperative. But for a solo game, I mean, it's pretty bad that you can't use contact actions, but you could just spend 4 green and get rid of it. It's not the end of the world. But now we know all the B cards are different. So the question is, should we take this one or should we top deck and grab a silent one? I still think we have to get rid of this crow. We can't have multiple crows that we have no way to get rid of. But do you want to peek again? We do have more cards. We could peek at the other one. We need to spend a card to walk on it. And then we need to walk to that and spend that. So we have one more card we could spend to peek at the next one. Do we want to peek? Do we want to spend a card to peek at the next one? We'd have to get rid of optimization, but probably we're not going to get a delta phase for a long time. So it's not the end of the world. What do you think? Is it worth peeking at the next one? I think we should try it. I think we should peek at the next one. All right, I'm going to spend this green optimization card. We did say we wanted to make this the mission that we peak, so it's kind of fun. All right, let's see what this one is. Something's changed. Okay, so it's another something's changed. We don't mind this one. I don't even consider this a flaw, really. If we're holding on to an active item, then it means we probably don't care about it and we'll take a different one. And if we don't have an active item, it does nothing. It still eats up a card draw, though. But okay, I think we're going to take this one. I'd rather have that one than mute. Although, you could see there are times when we have a flashlight, and that's a pretty bad thing to happen. Whereas mute is just a 4 green. 4 green's very expensive, though. Okay. I think I'd rather take another one else. Okay, but let's go ahead and do it and hope I didn't mess up. So I'm going to use this card as our I run to live to move 1 space. Then we're going to check the hideout, which is 077. And then we are going to get rid of the crow monster. And we're going to take a flaw. Which flaw do we want? Got a thought there, Jonathan? I think, you know what I think? I think having 2 of these crows is no worse than having 1 of them. Because having 1 or 2 of them basically just means we got to walk around knowing that if we have an item that is crucial to us, like a flashlight, then we're going to have to pay to get rid of this. Or get another item. So this one feels like it could, well, I don't know. I mean, the flashlight has been essential sometimes, but what would happen if we got this? It just slows us down a little. It's never going to kill us. Maybe we take mute. Maybe I changed my mind. The worst that happens here is it slows us down a little. The worst that happens here is we lose our flashlight. But most of the time it won't do anything. And often there's an item we don't care about. All right, let's take another something's changed. I've changed my mind. Okay. So we're taking another something's changed. We just have to remember now that we're walking around with a potential at any moment to lose whatever item we're holding on to. All right. So now we have to get the next 4 open. All right. So we're going to seal this card to generate 3 yellow. That's another card sealed, but it lets us move these 2 spaces here. I mean, I suppose that maybe that's inefficient. Okay, I changed my mind. I'm going to hold on to hesitation. Since we're only moving 2 spaces, I'm going to use a gem to move 2 spaces. And then we're going to use the pocket ladder in the dark because we don't think we're spending much time in the dark to trigger this to unlock the highest floor, next highest floor. So that is the 3rd and final tower floor. And now we're reading 71. I guess it's 17, not 71. Why could nothing be good? Everything's all wrong. It's my fault. Things won't get better in this world. You'll see for yourself. Get used to it. A stream of regret. Okay, so there's the water, but the water's already out. Discard a gem or gain a distress, and then we can gain a story or a gem, but we definitely have enough story, so we're going to take a gem at the end. So, but we don't know what we're going to need. We've got 5. Okay, we're going to spend a gem for the first time instead of taking another distress. Because we've got 5, we're getting a little... No, we've got 4. Still, we're at the halfway point. I don't want 5. So I'm going to spend a gem instead of taking a distress. But then we're going to gain a gem because we don't think we need any more story tokens. We're clearly not going to take extra just for that, just to be safe. All right, so that happened. And now all 3 tower cards are out. So now we can trigger this. How do I get to the top? If 6 story tokens are ready to be discarded, we're going to do that right now. So we're doing this right now. We don't have to be on any specific space. God help us if we need to. Well, actually, we can generate some movement if we need to. Okay, so we got rid of 6. So we're not taking a fate card. We can look at it at the end if we want. We get card F and tile Y. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Card F and tile Y. We still have never seen tile W. I think tile W is if the water comes and gets us. But let's see. When you reveal tile Y, put it on the top and discard the lowest four. So this one is going away. I'm taking the water off it. I'm shifting us down. And I'm putting Y. That's water. I'm putting Y up here. But we could be in a little bit of trouble. This is the one that's hardest to get past. So we're down at the bottom. We're going to need to get to the top. All right. Reveal card F and Y. Okay, let's look at F first. The Raven Man. It's active until this dream ends. If you're in the same space as the Raven Man, you may stop listening, say enough, and free yourself and drop him from the tower. Oh my God, we're going to drop this guy from the tower? Or try to find a common language. It never worked, but maybe this time. Try to connect both these paths. Do you guess how? I'm afraid this is something wanting us to go into the water. Wow, look at this hint on the bottom. Try to connect both these paths. Do you guess how? All right, let's flip over Y and see where this guy's coming out. Wow, look at this. So there's a little plank to like jump off of. I think we need to... We're needing to jump in the water, surely, but... Oh boy. Is that our mystery bird? That is our mystery bird. Well done, Jonathan. Our little mystery bird is here. Now, all right, let me put him here. We got a whole bunch of issues to discuss here. First of all, we've got the script to read. We've got a plank. We've got to get up there. But actually, this is going to come to us. So if we just stay one step ahead, we don't have to get up there in one shot. However, we're going to have to decide what to do with the water. Now, here's the other thing with this bird you've spotted on this tile, Jonathan. We have to pay for that. We have to pay to get to look at that card. We have to pay 5 green. I mean, surely we want to, but boy, that's not going to be so easy. Although we can feel our hesitation. Okay, we're done with the thing here. If you're in the same space as the Raven Man, you do this. Okay, so he's printed on the board. He's not a physical thing. So we're just going to come out here. Although this looks a little bit more like the Raven Man, but we're going to have to discuss it. But I guess we might as well read this script first, right? A huge cloud of black birds swirls ominously above the roof. From afar, they look like an angry ancient demon. Every sound is drowned out in the hum of 1,000 voices, everything except a tired, feeble voice coming from inside. I sacrificed everything for you. Don't you remember? You've always been ungrateful and useless, and now you don't even want to help me when I need you this one time. Discard the water card to the secrets of this dream. Okay, so the water card is gone unless it's to come back out. This guy, does he want us to kill him? All right, no more sinking tower. That's great. We just have to get out of here now. We just have to get up there and make a decision. However, let me point something out. There is no more, other than our turn clock, none of these trigger anymore. So we don't take more distress. And the creature, the crow creature, is not going to come out again. So we don't even have the option to drown in the water, even if we wanted to. So that's probably a good sign. I'm not sure. But the tower's not automatically lowering, and there's no more way for the crow creature to come out. So we can relax a little bit now. And if we wanted to go get this, we could. And if we wanted to wait a couple turns before we deal with this guy, we could. So we're not pressed for time anymore. So we're definitely going to do that bird, and we're going to have to talk about what to do with the raven. All right, well, let's stop here. When we come back, we will end our turn. Well, actually, let me just end our turn so you can think about what cards we have left. Okay, we're ending our turn. Here's our next turn card. Here's our 4 I think probably there's no point in not ending a turn right now, because we can take 4 more cards and there's no rush, right? Nothing triggers, it's just this, which is plenty of time. So I'm going to end this turn right here and take another turn, just so that we have a full 9 cards to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think there's any reason not to. Although I guess there would be a reason not to. I could have used our special 3 cards to unflip. Okay, so there's our 9 cards. We're now maxed out everything. And did we get the card that lets us travel through stairs? No, but we have enough to relocate. We also have enough to get card N if we wanted to, which probably we should. All right, well, we're ready to take our turn. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll discuss what to do, but I feel like the game is telling us we should be able to deduce what to do, but we don't know. But maybe that bird will help us. Okay, 8 minutes. All right, lots of things to think about here. I do also think it's worth appreciating one of the things that I've complained about in this game and how this mission is doing it differently. And I think it's a lesson about pacing. It was nice to have, we had this period where we were rushing and panicking and always had to be moving forward, and we had the creature coming after us. And now we've got a little bit of a lull here where things are in our control. Given that I think the time rush is over and the tower's not collapsing, I think we should take our time and go get this N with these 3 gems. I don't think gems are that important to us anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to use this getaway to move 2 spaces. I'm going to spend 3 gems. I'm not even going to peek at this card. I'm just going to spend all 3 gems to get card N, which we don't know what it is. What is it? It's a red progress card. It's called Accumulation. Water is pure power. If you're in a water space, discard a gem to place a token on this card, and you can discard a token to gain 3 for each discarded thing. So it's a water specialized progress card. You find a water space, you spend a gem. I don't know, I don't love it. But we've got it. I'm just going to put it into our hand. I don't know if, I can't remember if the rules say it goes in discard or not. But we're going to go ahead and take it. I don't know, I think the other card was better. M that we looked at, that was the one that lets you get rid of a flaw. That would have been a better card to get. All right, but that card is, that M is gone. We only had access to M and okay, that's all right. Now we need to go back here and then, so I'm going to go ahead and move us 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we need 4 yellow to cross this path. I suppose we could just go ahead and use these. Poison an entity in range. No. Okay, so there's... How can I get over that? All right, let's not worry about it. There's 4 that lets us jump over to here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to end our turn here. There's our next turn and our next 4 cards. And now it is time to discuss how we want to deal with this. All right, let's talk now. When it says connect both paths, it makes me think we're supposed to add or combine the paragraph numbers. We could also still reveal card E and see if it offers any hints. I'm also a bit worried that maybe it thinks we did the 3 story and now this one. I don't think so. So what is our rule about this? Do we just have to see it or do we have to be on the card? If you are in the space, So we have to actually walk to that space and generate 5 green, which we do have the 5 green. So I'm a little nervous that doing this will bring out something that does something. But surely we're going to do all of these. Well, there's 2. There's 4. We have no more gems since I spent them all. I'm not proud of that moment. There's 5. There's our 5 that we need to see this bird. I guess we're going to do this first, though. I wish I had done this when we were here. We're not going to be throwing anything. I'd like to hold on to that, though. So 2 red and 2 movement. All right, well, here we go. I'm going to deal with this blank first. All right, let's walk over to it for 2 yellow. We're in the spades. Yeah, doesn't really help us. I guess I'll just go ahead and use this. So here's our 2 wrath. And we are going to reveal this plank. Hopefully it won't trigger any enemy. You know what? I'm going to end our turn first before I do that. Let me take these back. Because what's the rush? Oh, we're going to get our fob. That's okay. We don't care about that. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so our flaw came. It would tell us to discard an active item. We don't have it, so we don't have to do anything. But that's gone. Okay, there's our stairs of no help to us. We're in clover, so we could gain 5 movement. I guess we're going to use that to go 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Okay, so we'll use that to move. And in the meantime, here's our 2 red. What about our green? What? Oh, I kept them over here. I drew too many cards. I will put 1 back. Okay, because I set aside... Oh, no, I didn't draw too many. Oh, yeah, that's our something. Okay, anyway. Point is, we are going to use 2 red here to trigger this, and then we'll use this to walk here, and then we'll look at the bird. So let's reveal card E and see what this is that we're seeing. Leap of faith. You may listen to the strange voice coming out of nowhere. Why shouldn't you jump to the ocean below? If you're in a space with a springboard, you may leap off. You should know this will end this dream, but maybe it will prepare you better for your next try. Wow. This is kind of crazy. because you couldn't get here. You couldn't get this leap of faith if this guy wasn't sitting right next to you. So why on earth? Wow. All right. Well, let's not worry about that decision yet. We're not pressed for time. So let's spend this to walk up to 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And then let's spend our 5 green, which we shouldn't have all these cards. We're a little bit over our hand limit, but let's not worry about it. To do this. We're on the space, and we're hoping that this is going to be the hint we need. 347. We're hoping this is the hint we need. Blue birds, that's a good omen. I like to look at them in the sky. It's enough to thank them silently and wait for what they will bring us. It always works. So we can either gain an hour or cure a distress. I don't think we actually need to cure any distress, but we don't. We're going to cure a distress anyway. Assuming we think these we can cure the same way. It says they act like distress. I just think these are going to go away on their own. So I wonder, but we have 5 hours. We don't really need any more hours. So I guess I'll just cure distress just in case. Okay, this did not help. This was not worth it. And now we've got a tough decision to make. Well, before we worry about making that decision, that sucked, that bird. Now let us get our hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's talk. What do we want to do here? There's our hand that we've drawn. Why is it zoomed out? Why is the hand not got enough room to show all my cards? Maybe because normally I'm like this. Okay. Oh boy, what do we want to do here? We've got different choices. And we could reread. I mean, he was just saying like everything's bad, right? All his stuff that he was saying. Why can nothing be good? Everything's all wrong. Is it my fault? Things won't get better in this world. You'll see for yourself. Get used to it. And then, you've wasted my life. I could have done a lot, but I didn't have a chance because of you. Why do you exist at all? I hate you. I sacrificed everything for you. Don't you remember? You have always been ungrateful and useless, and now you don't even want to help me when I need you this one time. You don't even want to help me when I need you this one time. And then if we look at the cards that we have to choose from, here they are. The weird one is if we take the leap of faith, which is right on the same tile, like it couldn't have come out when you're like, if this card could have come out, and lower in the tower, then it would make sense. Like it's saying like, okay, if you're not going to win, jump off, end the dream. But this only comes out when you've basically made it to this guy. So why would you jump off when you're just about to solve it? You may listen to the strange voice coming out of nowhere. Why shouldn't you jump to the ocean below? And don't forget the card that said, don't be afraid of the water. Okay, and then this Raven Man, it's got this very weird clue at the bottom. If you're in the same space as the Raven Man, enough, free yourself and drop him from the tower. Or try again to find a common language. It never worked, but maybe this time. And then it's got this very weird thing. Try to connect both these paths. What do you mean, try to connect both these paths? What paths can we connect? I mean, is he like... Is the ravens the path we can connect? Doesn't seem to help. Is there some different number we could get? Like, can we connect both these paths? Do we read 569? Add those two together? Why would that work? That's what Jonathan says, though. Add them two together. It is weird to connect them, though. I mean, to add them. Like, how do you do both these things? How do you try to talk to him and push him off? That's weird. I'm willing to try it, though. So you think connect these paths, if we add these two numbers, we would look up 569. Okay, let's try it. 569. I think that was right, Jonathan. I think this is talking about our thing. We're silent. We don't listen and we don't answer. The voice fades slowly away. The spinning demon changes and shrinks as the noise abates. Black birds shoot out from it in all directions, leaving one old featherless crow alone on the roof. You can see it's covered in a patchwork of scars from wounds caused by the claws and beaks of other crows. It was clearly once the alpha, but no longer. It murmurs quietly to itself, I'm just a crow, alone. No more murder. I needn't think and feel anymore. Nothing will ever hurt me again. It's better this way. The pathetic creature disintegrates, turning to dust and blows away in the wind. It's over just like that. We are ourselves again. No one has any real power or control over us. It was always just an illusion, and it is indeed better this way. We did it. That was good teamwork. Good idea, Jonathan. I wasn't sure I was even going to try adding it, but it worked. Jonathan says, it's good we tried that first, because my other idea was chug him off and then jump off the plank so we both go in the ocean. It might be interesting to see what these two outcomes were, but this is definitely related to that, right? Like, this was definitely the way to do it. And then it says resolved to 30. The roof is clean. There's a blissful silence. Only a colossal balloon flutters in a light breeze and shimmers in the sun like 1,000 floating crystals. What stops us from getting on it and flying where we want? Gain card J, a balloon. On the Dream World map, if we have this card in our hand, we can go to any location in the balloon range. The range is the physical length of the shorter side of this card. Roll the luck die afterward. Either we discard the balloon or we suffer a distress and return it. Ouch. All right. Well, we found our balloon. It's not that great. But we did have victory. Okay, cures 3 or unseals 3. I guess it's talking about the temporary tokens. No, look at that. I was right. So look, discard all gained this. So these were go away completely at the end. All right, so as predicted. But we could unseal 3 cards. That's better than nothing. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we unsealed 3 cards. Now, it was exactly what Jonathan hoped for, that it's unlocking Phantasmagoria Dreamworld map, which is off to the side. Hold on a second. All right, so we need the Dream World map. W, where do I keep? I mean, I do have this. Is this what we think? Oh, W. Sorry, not here. It's W. Well, we've discovered Phantasmagoria. How cool is that? Even though it looks cool, but really isn't anything different, but it is a new gate. It's our final location on our dream world. We have discovered Phantasmagoria. All right, I will add that to our dream world, which is up here. All right, let's follow the rest of our instructions and try not to skip anything. I unsealed 3 cards. We gain an ether. Boy, we've had a hard time gaining ether in this dream. Gain Phantasmagoria. Add 238V, the Rabid Tall Man, to the Slumber deck. So it seems like it's another bad guy. All right, I'm going to put him at the bottom of our Slumber, 238V. What's next? We get our shopping cards back. 241C. There's our 3 shopping cards. And then we get rid of the Dreamscape. Any influence that we didn't go into the market. So here are these 2. We didn't look at them, so I don't think we looked at them, so we don't know what they are. I'm going to put them in the market, the influence market. Remove all cards and tiles of this dream except for those already gained, as well as the Dreamgate tile. And that's it. We didn't get a new dream? We do have a dream that is in Phantasmagoria, though, don't we? And we couldn't do it yet because we didn't find it. But we did not get a new dream. We did not get a new dream. Do we want to do a couple more slumbers to set up for next time? Not sure if you enjoy slumbers at start or rather do some now. I don't know. Hold on. But let me not... let me... I think it might be nice to see what the other options, what we could have seen in this dream if we had done differently. So, and we should take a moment to appreciate this dream because that was pretty cool. And it's taken us 3 hours. John says, overall, this dream was pretty great. Definitely in top 3. It was cool. I like especially the pacing and the weirdness of it. Let's see some of the things we didn't do. So this would have been the fate if we had solved this the easy way. So if instead of trying to get 6 story, we had gotten 3, this would have gotten added in. It's a new quirk card, and it's crows. At the start of each slumber, add a morphing. Oh my God, that would be ridiculously painful. I am so glad we did it the hard way, because if this quirk came out on a slumber and started a person with a morph, that would really suck. Okay, so I'm really happy we did it your way, Jonathan, and did it with 6. Now, I am very curious, though, to see what these endings would be. So can we read these endings? Okay, if we had taken the leap of faith, 519, what would have happened? Our legs leave the roof, the crow's cries die out. It seems each of these blackbirds is watching closely, curious to see whether wings will grow from our arms or backs, and if we will soar as they do with such grace and ease. Unfortunately, nothing like that happens. So you could gain card L, which is water's health, and gain an ever-shifting map. What is that craziness? Card L. Was there a card L? I don't remember any card L. Unless that was one of the... No, M and N. If it's still available. And then 234U. Let's see what this is. But I don't know what card L is. 234U. I wonder if it meant 234L. Oh. So 234U is a note card. When you are unlocking new floors, you may always choose which one to unlock instead of taking one from the top of the floor deck. So that would make our life easier in this mission and in future missions based on floors. But I don't know what this Water's help card is. I'm not sure where we were supposed to get that. It would have to be in the secrets from this scenario. Did we already get it? Was it one of our... one of our benefits? No, we got M and N. All right, well, I don't know what this water self is. We could also look at card G. Oh, right. So there would be a different Raven Man. It's the same choices, though. What's different? Can you see what's different? Look at the only thing that's different is the feathers that are blocking the words down at the bottom a bit. That's pretty cute. So if you do it the hard way, you can more clearly read it and more of the ravens have flown off. If you do it the easy way, he's still got tons of ravens all over him, blocking his face and blocking this little hint. Well, that's a pretty impressive amount of work to go through. All right, let's take a look at what happens if you try to drop him from the tower. All right, so if you try to drop him from the tower, it says, do it. Don't you have the courage? I thought not. Look, I did it once. That's why I'm here. You don't have the guts for it. Enough of the screeching. I can't take it anymore. Disappear forever. The black creature falls down, cursing and laughing at the same time. Soon it's quiet. However, all those unpleasant words echo in our minds. The nightmare continues. We did not succeed. How many more times will we climb this tower? Oh my God, if we had pushed him off like I wanted to do, he joins the slumber like he did already, and then the tower comes back, and it's a failure. We have to come back. And we enter the season of plague. Oh my God. But there is an optional easy mode. Keep the above tile in the slumber deck, reset the dream, remove all your distress, and try again. Wow. If we had pushed him off, it would be a pure failure. Yikes. That's what I was inclined to do. Jonathan saved us. Okay, if we try to talk to him, it's going to be a failure again. You'll never be better than me. I will not permit it. I have my tower, and you have nothing. I shall always soar high above you. For a moment, we hoped our words would touch this monster, but no. This vortex of darkness, beaks, and feathers won't listen to anything. We were naive to think otherwise. Not everything in the world can be made better. Not everything can be repaired or cured. All we succeeded in doing was wasting our time. How many more times are we destined to climb this tower? And then here's the failure again. So, boy, I think we should feel pretty good about this dream. If we had gotten this negative ending and then come back and done it again and gotten a negative ending, boy, would I be unhappy. But the way it worked out was pretty great. I think we should end on a high note and end this session here. Although there is some value to doing the slumbers while we're up, I do think it's better to savor our victory. Good work, Jonathan, suggesting we add those numbers together. That made all the difference in the world. Oh, what about the water? That you couldn't. What would happen if you jumped into the water? That's what I want to see. Let's read what happened. It said, "Don't fear the water." Let us see what happens if you got sucked into the water. 731. Here we go. I think this is not going to be the end of the world, but let's see. If you came to the script because it seemed that you could combine different numbers, you made a mistake. Okay. Dark water crashes against the walls, droplets sharp like broken glass. The black waves resemble the outstretched wings of a huge bird flapping furiously, unsuccessfully trying to take off from the ground. The waves grab and buffet us, preventing us from getting away. If card C is not revealed, reveal it. Do not discard this tile. All dreamers on this tile may relocate to any spawn space. If card C is already revealed, nothing can save you and you fail. So if this was already out, which we got out very early, that means we would have died. So much for not fearing the water. We would have died. If we had done what I said and go into the water voluntarily, we would have died. The only thing that saves you is if you've not made any progress at all, then first you get out this card. That's a weird decision. That was a pretty cool dream, but it could have gone horribly wrong. Easily. I'm excited we can finally get to the spooky mansion dream. Pandemonium, Echo, Metropolis, Echo, Metropolis, Pandemonium, Suburbia. Here's the dream we now have access to that we weren't before. Call of the Old Mansion. Spawn the lamp and the locker. Interesting. All right, well, that was a pretty cool dream. We got a couple flaws that may be haunting us, and unfortunately, we didn't get the nice card that lets us get rid of flaws. It just means we have to spend ether to get rid of our flaws. It's a top 3 dream for us, but seems like it could have gone south for lots of folks, 100%. I would call this a top 3 dream, but I think if you did not try adding those numbers and failed, that would be pretty painful. And then imagine you fail it twice. Boy, would that be painful. I mean, I continue to be impressed by the vision and the commitment of the designers of this game. But I do think they're also willing to make you replay and suffer a little too much. I think we might be well advised to remember this experience in our next playthroughs. And if we ever get to like an end game instant loss, allow ourselves to back up and try a different ending. That it's kind of crazy to have people get to the end of a long 3-hour dream and then through a bad choice have to do it all over again. I did really enjoy the pacing here. All right, well, I think we might be on our way to getting some more silver keys. And you think next time we'll go to Phantasmagoria, right? We probably can go quickly to another dream because we're not distressed at all and we don't have many sealed cards, so we don't need to worry about healing up. What about, how was this for a letdown? That was not very fun to spend 5 green to be like, no big deal. Get an hour. All right. Jonathan, thank you for the company. Good work saving us. All of my instincts were wrong on this game, though. I wanted to go in the water. That would have killed us. And I wanted to jump off the tower, push the guy off the tower, really. And that would have killed us. So actually, it's a good thing we didn't listen to me. And we've got a balloon, but the balloon doesn't seem that useful. However, oh no, I was going to say it's green, but it's not. It's yellow. We need more green in our deck now. And look, you just measure it. If you want to decide where to go, you're supposed to measure it with this thing. Like, okay, we could go from here to here. Weird. Okay. We should note where we can spawn in Dream World. Oh yeah, did it say? Why did I not notice that? Failure, failure, failure. Waters help. Okay, this was our victory. Where does it say we start out? Place the dreamers. You are back on the dream world map. It doesn't seem to say. Does that mean we're back where we started or we're anywhere we want? Doesn't say where we start. I guess we're just where we entered, which was in... Where did we enter? Was it Profundum? Yes, Profundum. All right, I'm just going to put us back at the Profundum gate. Or we could start wherever. I mean, it clearly doesn't seem like a big deal. All right, good game. We've been playing on Monday, so maybe we'll continue that pattern. We still haven't pushed our Delta button. I guess next time we're going to just go for Phantasmagoria. All right, thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.